Hi, everybody. Welcome to Dan on Sports. Well, in an earlier commentary this week, we mentioned the leading candidate to be the new head of the Major League Baseball Players Association was Bruce Meyer, at the time the deputy director, and now he has been selected by the players to replace Tony Clark. He is the new executive director of the MLBPA. And anybody who thinks that because Meyer has taken over during what appeared to be a time of crisis for the association, I didn't think it was a time of crisis, but for those who thought it was, forget it. Nothing's going to change. Meyer came right out in an interview with The Athletic. He opposes a salary cap because his membership opposes a salary cap. The players do not want a salary cap. So anyone who thought that labor peace would come sooner, and remember the contract between the owners and the players expires on December 1st, anyone who thought that there would be some kind of peace with new leadership, well, forget it. There's still a big difference on the main focal point. And again, we don't know if the owners are going to demand a salary cap. That's what we keep hearing. But if the owners want a salary cap, the players are dead set against it. And Bruce Meyer came right out and said he opposes a salary cap because his membership opposes a salary cap, and he's there to represent his membership. Case closed. Now, he did say in the Athletic interview, quote, unquote, competition is key for us, meaning that the association wants to see a competitive balance among the teams so that the Miami Marlins can go out and sign free agents like the Los Angeles Dodgers. Well, that's utopia. That's not going to happen. When you've got a team like the Dodgers owned by a multi-billionaire, a team like the Mets owned by a multi-billionaire, and then you've got a team like the Marlins owned by a multi-millionaire, the disparity is such that you're not going to have the competitive balance. It's just not going to happen. So that's utopia. And that means you better be prepared for a long labor fight. Because on the key issue, both sides are diametrically opposed. In the story, Meyer says the market system is absolutely crucial, meaning a battle for all these players among all 30 teams to raise, obviously, the price of a contract. Again, that's wishful thinking. I mean, there's no way the Marlins can come along and offer somebody $32 million a year or $60 million a year or $50 million a year. There's just no way that's going to happen. And the Dodgers are going to come along and the Mets are going to come along and they're going to blow you away. I mean, the Mets gave Bo Bichette $42 million a year. You think the Marlins can handle that? You think the Kansas City Royals can handle that? You think the Pittsburgh Pirates could handle that? But there's got to be some suggestions, right? There's got to be some negotiation. There's got to be some give and take. So what Meyer is already suggesting in order to make that market system, quote unquote, absolutely crucial, raise the luxury tax threshold. I don't see that happening. Another key, obviously, he says, is to protect the players' benefits. Absolutely. That union, the Major League Baseball Players Association, has the best benefits of any union in the country. I'm not talking about just baseball. I'm talking about any union in the country, and particularly any of the other organized sports in the country, be it the NFL, be it the NBA, the NHL. By far, the Major League Baseball Players Association has the best benefits. It's incredible. But hey, I'm not criticizing them. They've earned it. They've earned it in negotiation. So if they earned it in negotiation, so be it. That's the way it goes. So he's obviously out to protect that. And he would like to see salary arbitration expanded. The owners hate salary arbitration because they lose most of the time. So why would the owners want salary arbitration to be expanded? Are you kidding me? Why would they do that? They hate arbitration as it is. So you see this. The owners are for a salary cap. The players are against a salary cap. The owners don't want to see salary arbitration expand. The players want to see salary arbitration expand. They are so diametrically opposed on so many issues. Be prepared for a protracted fight, is all I'm saying. Now, There are stories out there that Meyer loves agent Scott Boras. I've done commentaries before. I think Scott Boras has ruined baseball. And I'm not going to go into it here because I've gone into it in previous commentaries. Just go back and look through my catalog. But Meyer says that's bogus. He takes issue with those who say he favors Boras. He says every agent is valuable. Every agent. So, where do we go from here? I've got some suggestions. I know they will not adopt whatsoever, but maybe if the owners adopted some of them, they could, in a roundabout way, get what they are seeking without imposing a salary cap. What am I talking about? Well, first of all, you need a salary floor. Now, the players over the years have been even against a salary floor for whatever reason. But you need a salary floor whereby a team has to at least have a salary, an overall team salary that is at a minimum tens of millions of dollars. You need a salary floor. Now, I say this, and I don't think the players are for this. That's reduce free agency eligibility. Right now, after 6 years to become a free agent, I say reduce it from 6 to 4 years. Players don't necessarily want that. Remember, when free agency first started, Charlie Finley, who was then the owner of the Oakland Athletics, came out and said, well, what's the big deal? Make these players free agents after every season. After every year, every player is a free agent. And Marvin Miller was dead set against it, the head of the Major League Baseball Players Association, the executive director. He said, no way. If every player became a free agent, the market would be so diluted because it would be so flooded, you wouldn't see the salaries that you're seeing now. The demand wouldn't be what there is for just certain players. If you've got 600 players floating out there, there is just no way that you would see these $60 million a year salaries. But, and I don't believe the players would be for this. You know, they claim they want freedom. And look, I'm not trying to be critical of the players here. Look, they have earned everything. And it's not easy being a baseball player. These players work hard. They have extraordinary skills, and you get paid what you're worth. And if they're getting paid X amount of dollars, even though the salaries might seem exorbitant, hey, more power to them. I don't have a problem with that. But they don't want to. They talk freedom, but only a certain amount of freedom. And I'm not so sure they would even go for 4 years. Free agency eligibility dropped from 6 years to 4 years. I don't think they would go for that. Eliminate the draft. I've said that before, and the talk isn't as big in baseball as in other sports, but you eliminate tanking. And if you're going to be betting on games, you've got to have credibility. And we see that all of the sports now are having issues as far as credibility is concerned. So I say eliminate the draft. That won't happen. Reduce the regular season schedule. It's too long. And expand the playoffs. You're going to add 2 more teams anyway. That, I'm telling you, the minute there is a deal between the owners and the Major League Baseball Players Association, be it on December 1st, 2026, highly unlikely, or December 1st, 2027, I don't think they would be that stupid to totally eliminate the 2027 season, but I'm not ruling that out. But my point is this, there's going to be expansion. They're going to add 2 more teams. I mean, you've got to reduce the regular season schedule. As a matter of fact, and I'm going to do another video on this, 60 years ago, there was talk of reducing the schedule of 162 games. That was 60 years ago. There was a big confab over reducing the number of games played. Now, you're going to hear this all the time about the owners saying, well, you can't do that. We need the gate. We need this. We need... Work it out. You're going to make up your lost revenue by expanded playoffs. You're going to make up your lost revenue with your television ratings and your TV packages and your streaming packages. A 162-game season is too long. So that's what I'm suggesting. Salary cap, no salary cap, it's not going to happen. So I guess my point is nothing has changed with Bruce Meyer in control. You are going to see a labor war between the MLBPA and the owners. Hunker down because there might not be baseball, at least for a portion of the 2027 season. And nothing has changed now that there is a new executive director for the Major League Baseball Players Association. The war is on, whether you like it or not. That's going to do it for Dan on Sports. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be sure to subscribe to my newsletter, and you can do that by going to danonsports.com. See you later.